Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report for Wednesday, August 8th. Show me the money, show me your concern. In a report I read back on July 23rd, the amount of aid that Gaza received since 2011 from Western nations was about $16.7 billion. It is also estimated that 90 to 95% of those monies were diverted and stolen, and much of it to terrorist organizations. And yet the United Nations still pounds a drum of lip service supporting Palestinian leadership while it continually sets up condemnations and resolutions against the nation of Israel, who in the face of unfair accusations and bad PR continues to help its neighbors, offering a ray of sunshine for democracy and freedom in the Middle East. Most recently, the IDF has been rescuing Syrians in distress along the northern borders. Keep in mind that Israeli technology also helped in the rescue efforts to free or help save the young soccer team members who were stuck in a cave in Thailand. Well, last week at least Nikki Haley, the U.S. representative to the United Nations, stood up and called it out yet again. Barry Shaw, a Zionist supporter who lives in Israel, noted on his Facebook page last week the Nikki Haley comments and offered his own commentary in support. Nikki Haley slammed the Arab and Islamic members of the UN over their posturing and hypocrisy on Palestinian issues, that they are generous with their words of support to the Palestinians and empty with their money. Lots of solidarity in speeches and anti-Israel resolutions, but zero in positive and practical outcomes. Quote, no group of countries is more generous with their words than the Palestinians' Arab neighbors and other Islamic member states. But what was their financial contribution towards this cause? In 2017, Iran's contribution to UNRWA was zero. Algeria's was zero. Tunisia's was zero. A token $20,000 was given by Pakistan, and Turkey, the most generous, gave $6.7 million, but keep that in mind compared to the $364 million in 2017 from America alone. This is just unacceptable as America and Israel take the drumbeat of hostility verbally from these organizations, yet America puts the bill for most of it. And as I mentioned in my earlier statistic, a lot of the money is then diverted into unsavory causes. As well, in an article released last week by the Gatestone Institute, people who the UN claimed to help and other organizations, including the Students for Justice of Palestine, the college campus organization that claims it wants to help Palestinians, are ignoring the oppression the Palestinian people, are actually suffering under their sanctioned leaderships. The human rights activists are ignoring the real problem and hoist their hostile attention onto the only beacon of hope and inspiration any of the neighboring folks in the Middle East who are oppressed can turn their heads to for a ray of salvation. For example, the Palestinian Authority is now silencing their journalism students and university students, as well as other members of their society, for their rhetoric on social media. Palestinian students are allowed to badmouth Israel and the U.S., of course. That's where their freedom of speech is ending. Palestinians who utter a bad word about its leaders will find themselves behind bars, and this is due to the laws recently in place. The PA leadership is accountable for its actions, and journalists and university students of Palestinian origin are trying to release the truth from their region, but this is at great personal peril. For example, a Palestinian electrical engineer from the West Bank is facing a year in prison and heavy fines because he was arrested by the PA on June 19th as breaking their cybersecurity law when he attended a rally to protest the PA's economic sanctions in Ramallah. Let us remember that in our support for Israel and for Jewish people worldwide and for the other types of people that support Israel and Jewish people, that indeed the Palestinian people are currently suffering. That all these organizations who demonize and discredit Israel and post bad PR and threaten it are not just hurting Israelis and Jewish people worldwide, but they're actually hurting the Palestinian people who reside in that area, because no true help is helping those folks who are living under an oppressive and totalitarian regime where they have no freedoms and no way of exercising any way to change those freedoms while they live under the iron hand of terrorist and quasi-terrorist organizations. Let's keep these Palestinian people in our prayer, these students who want to seek the truth and want to share it with the rest of the world. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.